The Gemara says here, "Betofeach al menat lahatvich." They're arguing about if there's enough wetness over there, they could make somewhere else eka benayu. The Gemara says, "Yardu litpol." Im yachol la'alot. So the Mishnah seems to say that it's highly recommended that you say Shema right at Netz, at sunrise. Gemara says, Lema stama ke Rabbi Lazar, damar netzachama. Rabbi Lazar has a fascinating opinion. He holds you're only allowed to say Shema, you know how long? He says you can only say Shema till the time of from dawn till the time of sunrise. It's a very short time period that you could say Shema. So is our Mishnah following his opinion? Gemara says no. Afilu tema, I could tell you it is even according to Rabbi Yoshua. The Dilma Kevatikin, the Amar Rabbi Yochanan Vatikin, even Rabbi Yoshua that says you have 3 hours after sunrise to say Shema, he agrees that Vatikin, the people that do the mitzvot in the most perfect and daqiq, exact way, when do they read it? No, at Netz. So it could go, the Mishnah can go according to what? According to everybody. Even according to him, Gemara says, "Ve'im lav yechasel b'mayim ve'ikre." The Mishnah, what did the Mishnah say? The Mishnah says like this: if you're dipping in the mikveh and then you see, oh my gosh, it's going to be sunrise in a minute. So if you could put on your robe and go say Shema, that's the best. Leave the mikveh, say Shema. But let's say your robe is far away. By the time you want to go find your robe, you're going to miss saying Shema right before sunrise, which is the most perfect, super deluxe, first class time to say it. So it says what you can do is you can make the water like cloudy, and then you could say the Shema. In the mikveh. You stick your head out. Gemara says, this is a problem. How could you do such a thing? We know there's a problem. There always should be a separation between your heart and your private part. There should be like a belt. You should have pants on. This, if you stick your head out of the water, your heart is saying what? In the bottom. In the bottom, your private part. There's no separation. So that's libot ha'erva. That's a problem. So we're going right where the Gemara is going to go. We're getting to the wide line soon. We're before 4 lines before the wide lines. Amar Rabbi Lazar v'yitemu Rabbi Acha bar Acha mishum Rabbeinu b'mayim akurim. This is talking about cloudy water. Like I was in Canada, in Banff. There's water that has a lot of minerals in it. It's clean water, but it looks dark. It's cloudy. It looks like gray. It looks dark blue. It looks light blue. So you can't. Gemara says, it has so many minerals in the water that it looks like ground. And this case is talking about that you put your stomach, you get so much out of the water that your heart below your belly is inside the water, above your belly is outside of the water, and then the water is kind of like the belt, is like the pants, because it's like separating you guys. Gemara says, Tanu Rabbanan, Maim Selolim, clear water, Yashav Baim At Savaro Vekore. You could stay in the mikveh until your neck and say Shema. V'yesh Omrim Orcham, clear water.
So it's not a problem?
Wide lines. Yesh Omrim Orcham Beraglo. Some say no. The ancient times, their mikvahs wasn't concrete or tile, it was ground. So people say start hitting the ground, so the dirt comes up and it gets cloudy. So the Gemara has asked your question. Very good job. You're on the ball. If it's clear water, how can you just stick your head out? But isn't there a problem of what? Liboro et ha'erva. So Gemara says, this specific Tana is holding it's not a problem. Kasavar libo et ha'erva mutar. He said this is not a halachic problem. If your private and hearts are in the same area and they're not covered, both of them, there's no separation, that's okay. That's why he says clear water, you only need to stick what out? Your neck. But the Gemara asks, there's another problem. V'hare ikvoro et ha'erva. But your toe and your private are seeing each other because you don't have pants on. Isn't that a problem? Gemara says this Tana holds that's also not a problem. Kasavar ikvo ro'et ha'erva, beginning of the third wide line, mutar. Right? He holds that such a thing is not a problem. Itmar. Ikvo ro'et ha'erva mutar. It's a very simple thing that even you're naked below your belly and your ankle sees your private part, there's no separation between them, there's no pants, it's okay. Nogeya, but let's say you're sitting like Indian style, you're sitting like a small mikveh, a small confinement that your ankle is brushing up against your private part. Mm. So that's a machlokes. Abaye oser. Abaye says it's forbidden. Rava Amar mutar. Rava says what? Okay. That it's permitted. Rav Zvid matnila l'shmaya achicha. Rav Chananya Breder Rav Ika matnila hacha. Nogeya divra kol asur. Some learn like this. If it's you're sitting in like a Indian style, that your ankle, your feet, your toes are actually touching your private, it's for sure. You have to change your way you're sitting. You can't say Shema like that. According to all opinions, that's a forbidden.
Why the ankle?
Because that's just like when you sit Indian style, that's where...
You're talking about the ankle.
It's like this.
Why the ankle has a special...
No, that's just saying the commonality. When you sit like Indian style, you know what I'm saying? Mm. That's what happens. Yeah.
You're saying the ankle shouldn't be exposed to the...
No, it shouldn't be touching, actually. Your toes or feet shouldn't actually be touching.
So above the ankle is okay?
No, above the ankle is also a problem. It shouldn't be touching. Tosfos asks your problem. It's it's another thing. The reason why we were under also is a good thing. But anyways, it says, going right ahead, ro'eh. Now let's say it's not touching, but it's only exposed one to another. Abaye amar asur, Rava amar mutar. Rava says it's okay that there's no separation between your heart and your private part.
In clear or cloudy water?
Yeah.
Clear water. Clear or cloudy?
Yeah, clear.
Or cloudy.
Yeah. No, cloudy is not a problem according to everybody because it's a barrier. So it says, Abaye amar asur. Rava amar mutar lo nitna Torah lamalcha sharet. Rava says the Torah, we're not angels. Torah wasn't given to angels, so it's too hard. People to be in the mikveh and to put a separation all the time is not a problem. But what's the halacha? Nogeya asur. If you're sitting in such a fashion that your toes or ankles are touching your private part, you cannot say Shema. You have to sit another way. Ro'eh mutar. But if your head is sticking out of the water and your heart and private part are both naked, that's okay. They're seeing each other. Amar Rava. So'a ba'ashashit mutar likrot kriyat shema kenegda. Erva ba'ashashit asur likrot kriyat shema kenegda. Let's say you have excrement, poo-poo, in a glass bottle, in like a jar, in like a potty that's glass. You could see it. It looks disgusting. Obviously, if you can turn your head, it's better. But still, halachically, it's totally sealed. There's zero smell. Can you say Shema there? Yes. But if there's nudity, if there's a naked woman behind the glass window or behind the glass door, it's forbidden. Why? And this is actually the halacha. The Gemara explains in the beginning of the line. Why is it forbidden? Because excrement, waste, has to do with it being covered. So who cares if it's covered in ceramic, it's covered in earthenware, it's covered in glass, it's covered. You're not smelling anything. And the bottom line is it's covered. The smell is covered. But if you see nudeness behind some say this is a TV screen also. If there's like a bad movie going on, you have to go to another room if you're in a hotel or somewhere, right? Because the bottom line is, it's forbidden to say Shema where there's nudity behind the so it says why can't you say Shema if there's nudity? It says Velo yerecha becha evad davar. Amar Rachman. God says I don't want anything naked to be seen. And now it's seen, right? Amar Abaye. Kol shu mevatle birok. Let's say your baby did a small amount of poop, where if you have a very thick saliva and achtof, you spit on it, you could cover it. You have to understand, people were really badbacht. People had terrible, terrible problems in the olden days. They didn't have bathrooms and running water. So it says if you have nowhere else to go, you could throw a big spit that's very thick and totally covers the small amount of, it's not seeable anymore. And it doesn't smell anymore. If you spit on it, then it makes it bitul. It nullifies it, and then you could say Shema there. Amar Rava, uverok ava. It has to be a thick saliva. Amar Rava soa beguma maniach sandol aleh v'koreh kriyat Shema. What does it say? Let's say in your backyard you want to say Shema, but there's like a mouse hole, like a small like golf ball hole, and there's excrement in there. If you put your shoe on top of it, it's totally covered. Now you can say Shema because it doesn't smell and it's covered. So you put your that's the question the Gemara is going to say. By Mar Bereda Ravina saw devuka besandolamayo, but it says, what if it gets stuck to your bottom of your shoe? So it's attached to you. Or even if you not by the hole, now that you came to cover it, now again. So you're allowed to say Shema or not? The Gemara says Teku. We don't know. Let it stand. Amar Rav Huna akum arum asur likrot kerat Shema kenegda. Which means, if there is a non-Jew that is naked, you're not allowed to say Shema in front of her. Gemara says, "My ira akum afilu Yisrael nami." Who cares? Even a Jew, you're not allowed to. It's the same, Jew and non-Jew. Gemara, beginning of the line says, "Pshitale." Gemara says, "No, Yisrael pshitale de asur." A Jew, of course, it's elementary, it's forbidden. Ela akum itzrichale. A non-Jew, we need to teach you that it's forbidden. You know why? Mahu detei mohoil v'ktiv behu. Asher basar chamorim besaram. Ema kechamor ba'alma. The Navi, the prophet Yechezkel says that their skin is like the skin of a donkey. So it's like, it's just like saying it in front of a naked donkey. That's not a problem. Gemara says no. Kamash malon deyunu nami yirkureva. Their nudity is also considered nudity. Because what does it say? By Noach, his sons, it says they didn't see the private part of their father. And Noach wasn't a Jew. So you see that even if the Jew is not dressed appropriately is nudity, you're not allowed to say Shema there. So Gemara says, "Velo yitchaseh lo b'mayim hara'im velo b'mei eshrei ad shitol letoch hamayim." You're not allowed to say Shema in water that's gone bad, it's like become moldy and smells bad, or water that they soak flax in that has a very bad smell. Until you throw water into it to make it smell good again and make it like normal, clear water. Gemara says, "Kama maya ramya ba'azil." How much water do you have to continue and put into it so it goes clear? Gemara says, "Allah haki kamar." It doesn't mean that you're just going to continue putting water in size of an Olympic-sized pool. The halacha is actually like this also. Lo yitchaseh lo b'mayim hara'im velo b'mei eshrei klal. Water that smells bad, it's not a good idea to start pouring a ton of other water in it because it smells bad. It's just water that you soaked bad smelling stuff in it. You cannot use that as a mikveh to stick your head out because it smells bad. Meraglaim, but it's talking about something totally different. It's saying if there's like if your kid went to the potty in your room, so it's a small amount of urine. How much water do you have to pour in the baby's potty, the toddler's potty, so that it's not considered that you're praying in front of a urine? Gemara says, so it says, "Umei raglaim ad sheyitol letoch hamayim veikre." Tanu Rabbanan, kama yitol letoch hamayim? How much water do you have to put inside of it? Some say kol shehu, even in like a drop. Rab Zakai, which is the halacha, it says revi'it, like 3 ounces, 3.5 ounces. So that causes it to be considered water, that mixture, not. Amar Rav Nachman machloket lebesof. Some say this is if you add the water at the end. Aval b'tchila, if you first put the water in the potty before they went to urine inside of it, kol shehen. Then you only need a little bit. Rav Yosef says no. Machloket lechatchila. This is only if you put the water first. Aval lebesof, if you're adding the water after the person went to the potty. Divrei akol revi'it. According to everybody, how much do you have to add?
3-4 ounces.
Yeah, 3-4 ounces. Revi'it. Amar le Rav Yosef lishmaya aita li revi demaya ke Rabbi Zakai. The halacha is actually like Rabbi Zakai, that because Rav Shammai said to his servant, to his assistant, bring me a 3 ounces so I can pour it inside it and get rid of it. Now that's only a potty that is not made out of earthenware. Graf shel reri, the Gemara says here. Tanu Rabbanan, graf shel reri v'avit shel min reglaim asur likrot kriyat shema. It says something that's a permanent potty, and especially it's earthenware, that the bad smell of the urine and the excrement goes inside the walls of the thing. Even if you cleaned it with bleach and you threw out all the excrement and urine, still, since this thing is like a toilet that is permeable and the thing goes in, you can't say Shema in front of it.
But you put the lids on.
You just need to go in another room or put it outside. You understand? Because the smell and the bad stuff has gone into the walls of it.
Yes.
Asur kenegnam. Like we said, even though there's nothing in it. The Gemara says, how much water do you have to throw inside of it? A little bit. Rab Zakai Amar revi'it. Ben lifnei amita, ben la'achar amita. Whether it's in front of your bed or behind your bed. Rabban Shimon ben Gamliel Omer, la'achar amita koreh, lifnei amita ino koreh. Gamliel says if the bed is like a barrier, so in front of the bed you could say Shema. I'm sorry, in back of the bed where the bed is a separation between you and the potty and the urine, you could say it. But if it's in front of your bed where the bed is not acting like a barrier between you and the urine, you can't say it. So it says, Lifnei amita eno kore, abal marchuku arba amot. But if it's in front of you, you can go 4 amot, 8 feet away, and say Shema. That's the solution. Rav Shimon ben Elazar omer, afilu bait me'ah. Bad mea amalo ikrat sheyotzim shnehem. Ad shenechem tachat hamita. Rabbi Shimon ben Elazar is more machmir. He says either you take, even if the room is the size of a ballroom, size of a wedding hall, 100 amma, you cannot say Shema in the same room as a party of urine. Either you put him under the bed, so you put it in a different jurisdiction, like a different reshut, different place, or you have to leave the room.
This is because of kavod, not because of smell.
Yeah. Ibaylo, hachi kamar. Achar mita kore miyad, lifnei mita marchik arba amot vekore. Does Rabbi Gamliel hold that if the bed is the barrier, if you're reading it behind the bed, which means the bed is like a partition between you and the urine, can you read right away? And if in front of the bed, where there's no partition, you go 4 feet away, 4 amot away, or dilma, hachi kamar, lachar mita marchik dalet amot vekore, lifnei mita tenu kore klal. Maybe only if the bed is a barrier, you have to go 4 feet away, 4 amot away, 8 feet away. But if it's in front of you, maybe you can't, and there's no barrier, maybe you can't say Shema at all. It doesn't help by going 8 feet away. Gemara says, Tashema, let me come in here. Rab Shimon ben Elazar Omer, Achar amita kore miyad, lifnei amita marchik arba amot. Rabbi Shimon ben Gamliel says, in front of the bed, after the bed, where the bed is a barrier, you could read right away. In front of the bed, you have to go 4 amot away and read it. Rabbi Shimon ben Gamliel Omer, afilu bad mea ama lo yikra ad sheyotzia shnehem o sheyenichem tachat hamita. In this version, Rabbi Shimon ben Gamliel is the one says either you put it under the bed or you go to another room. Even if you're in the same room of 100 feet, you can't say Shema near this thing. Gemara says, Bain ifshitalan mitnitan kashi adadi. He says you came to answer the question. Now we got more confused because in each Mishnah, they say the opposite. Rabban Gamliel and Rav Shimon Gamliel and Rabbi Shimon ben Elazar. Gemara says epoch. You have to change the positions. Batra, the last one. So Gemara says, why do you have to change the position? In the last one, maybe you change the position in the first one. Gemara says like this, the reason why we have to change Rav Shimon ben Elazar is because who's the person within 8 feet of something? It doesn't matter. As long as you're in the same room, it's like you're right in front of it. Who holds this? Rabbi Shimon ben Elazar. Amar Rav Yosef, Bai mine mi Rav Huna kama mita pachod mishlosha pshita lid kitalavu dami. If you put it under the bed and the bed has less than 3 hand breaths, it's considered like closed off. You know, the concept in Sukkah is that if there's a small gap, it's considered not a gap at all. You understand? Less than a foot.
Or chair or table.
Right. That.
Same?
Yeah. So it says, Pachot mishlosha pshita kedelavu dami. Shlosha arba'a chamisha shisha shiva shmona tisha mahu. He says, I have a question. If it's more than 3 hand fists, is that considered also that it's like under the bed? Is that considered that is also a partition, that we're not in the same room as the urine, or no? How about 3? How about 4? How about 5? How about 6? How about 7? How about 8? How about 9? Gemara says, Amar le lo yadina, asara vaday lo mibaylo. He says, between 4 and 9, I don't know, but 10 for sure is no question to me. Gemara says, Rashi, let's read just Rashi here. Pshitali, ben המכינן תחת המיטה ורגליה קצרים שאין המאה וקרקע 3 טפחים כלבוד המבארים כמטומנים. Exactly like I explained it. If it's a bed with short legs and the legs are less than a foot, so that for sure we consider the bed is covering the urine.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's such a small distance between the bed and the floor of the room that it's covered. But how about between what? More than 3? He says 10 for sure is considered not covered because it's so many opening that the smell, and it's like, it's not considered that like halachically you put it under the bed because the bed's legs are so what? High. Gemara says like this. Amar Abaye Shapir Avatul Domibai Lachasara Rishut Achritei. Yeah, for sure, more than 10 is like another reshut, and it's not considered like a covering. Amar Rava Hilchat Apachot Mishlosha Klavudami Asara Rishut Achriti. Less than 3 hand breaths, which is less than a foot, is considered like a covering, and it's you're allowed to say Shema when you put it the potty under there. And more than, if the legs of the bed are more than 10, and you put it on top of the bed, that's also good. Because you understand, if you're sitting on the floor and you put it on top of the bed, then it's like considered what? It's like in a different room. You understand? So it says.
I don't think it's good.
He. Beginning of the line, Mishloshat Asara Hainu Debai Mine Rav Yosef Rav Huna V'lo Shtadle. That between 3 and 10, that's the same question Rav Huna and Rav Yosef had, and they didn't get to an answer. Amar Rav Halacha Reb Shimon Lazar. So Rav says halacha is like Reb Shimon and Lazar, that either you have to put it under the bed, or if you're in the same room, go to another room. Even if you're 8 feet away from it, doesn't matter. It's like you're right in front of it.
How about covering?
V'chein Amar, no, covering is okay. V'chein Amar Beili Amar Rav Yachon Breid about Shmuel halacha Reb Shimon and Lazar. Rav Amar in halacha Shmuel. Rav says no, halacha is not like Reb Shimon and Lazar. Rav Achia Asak Lebrei. The rabbi was making a wedding for his son with the daughter of Rav Yitzchak. He was making them to hejle, like they were going to make a chuppah and also a private room where they could, bring babies and get married. Velo mesaylo milta. They weren't able to consummate their marriage. They weren't able to have babies together, to do what a man and wife do with each other in the night of the wedding. So after they came out of the room, Azal Batray Launune Chazal Sefer Deman Torah Demancha. He said Vavela. He saw that there was a Torah, Sefer Torah in that room. Amar Lehu Aichu Hashta Lo Atyon Sakanta Lebre. He says, thank God that my son didn't get killed, because it's a big disgrace to do sexual relation in front of what a Sefer Torah. You have to either, right? The Tanya, we learned like this. If there's a Sefer Torah tefillin in a room, you cannot have relations with your wife unless you take him out of the room, or you put it in 2 different covers, cover within a cover. If your tefillin bag is the normal, even if it has 2 covers, but it's the tefillin and the sisit bag, that's not good enough. You have to put it in the tefillin bag and inside a closet. You understand? Because one of the covers can't be the cover that you always want. Even if the classical tefillin bag has 10 different layers, cover within covers, it's still a problem. It's not considered a second cover. He says if you put it in a bookcase, that's like within a kli.